Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about being black in China, my experiences, my personal experiences. Let's just get right into it. Right, so I want to say that being black is just a lot wherever you are. Just being black is this burden that you carry, even especially when you're from South Africa. You know what I'm talking about. There's this intense racism in South Africa, and it doesn't get any worse anywhere else in the world. The only difference is that in South Africa you have rights, you have a voice, you can do something about it. But in countries where you are a foreigner, you don't really have much to say about these things, or to actually, you can't take any action. Like the law is not on your side. So that's the only difference really. But otherwise, if you are black and you're from South Africa, you know what racism is like. You know what it's like to be treated badly because of your skin color. Now let's get to my experiences in China. Have I experienced racism here? We're going to talk about that. So you get asked if you are from America or if you're from Africa. What they're trying to do is determine if they should respect you as a person, because if you're from America, then yeah, that's a big country and you are worthy of just human respect. But if you are from Africa, then it's like, Namfe, where in Africa and stuff. And for me, it's equivalent to when people ask you, so what do you do for a living? You know, when a person asks you what do you do for a living, why should that matter? You know, unless you're going to be marrying me, or if I'm going to be spending the rest of my life with you, then sure, I can ask you that question. But if I'm just trying to know you, it should not matter what I do for a living. So it's the same thing. Where are you from? Are you from America? If you're from America, then yeah, I can see where I fit you in my racism. So it's going to be racism, it's just not going to be as intense. So you are respected more if you're from countries like the US and the UK. But if you come from Africa, then there's this connotation that Africa is just horrible and it's poor and there's no respect for you whatsoever. So my first ever racism incident happened last year. This was my first ever. Even in South Africa, I've never had a racism incident happen. Like, I've never encountered racism on a personal level until last year. So last year, with the grade 6 learners, it was a new group, right? So they're getting ready for the class. We're going to play a game. So they're putting the tables in a circle and they're just making noise. And I'm just letting them, the class is yet to begin, but the first bell has rang. And this one kid comes to me and he's like, hey teacher, he said you're a monkey. And at first I was very startled. I was not expecting that. My school is amazing. The kids were amazing before this. I'd worked for the school for 2 years already, and I'd never had any racism encounter. So when the kid tells me that, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, can you call him so that I can understand what he's saying? So when they call him, the kid is like, I didn't say that, I didn't say that. And then I'm like, I'm gonna go and tell your teacher if you don't tell the truth. So he's like, no, because people on TikTok say that, so I just said that, but I didn't mean it. Oh my gosh. And I got emotional in that class, and the kids had to go and call their class teacher to actually address the issue, because I was just so caught off guard and I was just so shocked that that happened. And then his parents came to the school the following day and we had a meeting and they apologized profusely. They were very embarrassed about the whole issue. And then later on we learned that he didn't mean that. He just thought it was an interesting thing to say because he'd heard other people say it before. So yeah, he wrote me a letter and he was like, he's very sorry, and I forgave him. Of course, he's a kid. And then there was my very first horrible experience with racism. And then the other kids kept asking me in other classes, hey teacher, we heard about this, we're very sorry, that should not happen. So that was nice that the school really acted very swiftly, and the parents were brought in and they wanted to come, both the parents, and we had a meeting. But I should not have had to even deal with that. So yeah, that was very heartbreaking, and I've never really talked about it with a lot of people. So yeah, that was my first racism incident, and it sucked. Another thing is, because I teach oral English, we do a lot of presentations. So sometimes I give them topics on just issues that are going to force them to talk about blacks as well as human beings, and you see them wincing and not wanting to say black people as if it's a dirty word. So I've had to work on that and actually teach them that no, it's okay, we can say black people, but we respect black people. We're not saying weird things. We've had to do lessons, especially with the older kids, on racism and teach them what racism is and what is wrong and what is okay to say. So that was weird. Another incident is that I've heard kids a few times, especially boy kids, say that, oh well, there's really good black people, some really cool black people. What they mean is, because they love basketball, so they love the big basketball stars and they happen to be black. So yeah, sure, those ones are black and worthy of respect, but then any other black person, psh, it really doesn't matter to them. But yeah, there's really good and interesting black people. It's just a statement that is nuanced, and if you broke it down and talked to them, it's laced with so much racism. And that if a person is black and they're wealthy and you love them, then sure, respect them. But if they're not wealthy and you don't know them, then they don't matter. Another thing for me has been that I've had, especially in my first school, just proving myself that yeah, I can teach. That I can teach, even though I had the qualification and I had 3 years experience. And the other teachers that I was working with, my colleagues, they didn't have teaching experience. They just had being white as their ticket and being fluent in English. But I had to prove myself and they didn't have to prove themselves. And it was a few other black people where we constantly had to prove ourselves and submit lesson plans and stuff like that. But they were not really strict on white teachers. They just wanted a black teacher to prove themselves. Even the kids are just like, you're black, you're from Africa as well. Ooh, can we trust you? And you constantly have to prove yourself that, yeah, I'm worthy, I can do this job. That sucks. And when we are going for lunch, for example, with my colleagues, we have to, so the canteen is a little bit outside the classes building. So we have to walk in the sun. We can choose to walk in the sun, or we can choose to just not walk in the sun. So sometimes when I'm like, well, we need vitamin D and stuff, they're like, oh no, we don't want to be burnt by the sun because we don't want to be black. Same to me when I'm black. So there's that language. I don't know if they don't see it the way that I see it. I've had to learn that they are airheads and it's not personal for me to survive, because at first it was like, what do you mean you don't want to be black when I am black? You know, so those things were very difficult for me to understand. If like, let's walk in the sun a little bit. It's just like, it's not even 5 minutes. It's less than a minute. And the person is like, oh no, I don't want to be black, to a black person. So you do get such comments that they're nice to me otherwise, but they do say such things, which is very odd. And the last thing that it gets to me, it annoys me to the core. I know that other people enjoy it because they feel like celebrities, but I hate it so much when they take pictures of you without your consent, like you're in the train and then the person is busy taking pictures of you, or you are at the park and you're just trying to have a good time and then the person is taking pictures of you. This other time when we were still under the lockdown, this lady, we were having a picnic with other expats, and then this lady just took a picture of us and everyone was okay with it. I was the only person like, what the hell are you doing? Get out of here, because why are you taking pictures of us? So such things annoy me so much. I know that some foreign people don't mind. And then sometimes they ask to take a picture with you. Isn't like, you know, when Beyonce walks around, you're just like, hey Beyonce, can I have a picture with you? But it's not in that sense. I feel like they want to say I saw a black person but I don't feel like in a prideful way or in a happy way, just like in a dodgy way. And for me, I hate it. So yeah, they do take pictures of you. They want to take pictures with you, and I just want to be left alone. Is it a zoo? Am I like a monkey? That's how I feel about the whole thing. But yeah, some people like it. Yeah, so those are the experiences. I've heard even worse. Like sometimes you have to lie and say you're from the UK or from the US for the parents to respect you and accept you so that you can teach their children. So it gets really hectic at times. I haven't experienced such things. I have been blessed with a school that does not require for me to prove that I'm worthy just because I'm black. So my school is great, my current school, but my first school was horrible, first school abroad. So yeah, if you want to come and teach here, do expect that, especially if you're black, do expect to be treated differently. Do expect to have the need to prove yourself. It's not all bad. I've learned to also I've desensitized everything racism, so it doesn't get to me. I know it's not personal. It hurts sometimes, but I know it's not personal, and I don't let it get to me and get to my head. Yeah, that's all, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate and love you so much. And thank you to the new followers. The family is growing. We're happy about that. I appreciate everyone. I love you guys. Bye.